On January 21, 2020, the U.S. saw its first confirmed case of COVID-19, and as the virus began to spread, questions on whether schools should remain open began to arise. And ultimately, in March of 2020, students from all across the U.S., ecstatic to begin their spring break, saw the rest of their spring 2020 semester get cut short. And at the Louisville Independent School District, teachers' abilities to instruct classes and the academic performances and mental and emotional well-being of many students at Marcus High School, Flower Mound High School, and the Technology, Exploration, and Career Center West were all impacted by the long months of social distancing following nationwide school closures. Miss Ashley, for example, felt that teaching American Sign Language at Flower Mound High School was made difficult by moving to online learning.
My name is Sandra Ashley, and I am the American Sign Language teacher at Flower Mound High School.
Like most everyone else, Miss Ashley was caught by surprise by the sudden school closures and having to move to online learning.
Nobody knew anything what was going on at the very beginning, and I was pretty terrified of coming back, so I was happy to be online. I felt like it was a good, safe thing for our students to be online. However, the quality of education definitely was not the same as it was in person. COVID has affected our class in a lot of ways. It looks a lot different even now than it did back before COVID started. COVID has taught me to be a better online teacher, to teach students better who are absent and need to do work online. It was required of me to think outside of the box, to create new ways to figure out how to test their learning.
At times, it became difficult for Miss Ashley to communicate with students online.
A lot of kids disappeared, and we couldn't find them. We couldn't contact them. We couldn't get in contact with them. The focus changed from what is better for the course to how is this kid doing? Are they okay? Are they okay at home? Are they getting through this COVID thing all right?
Not only teachers, but also students, including myself, felt the impact of the pandemic and found online learning to at times be difficult. My name is Thomas Cruz, and I'm a senior at Marcus High School. So at first, I liked, like probably most everyone else, being able to move online because I was able to just sit back, relax, play video games, while also being able to, for the most part, do my classwork on my own time. But as time moved on, I definitely felt the impact of just not being able to be face-to-face with people. The hardest thing about being online was that it was so difficult, if not impossible, to meet new people and make new friends. Day after day of just homework, video games, YouTube, sleep, repeat, at home every day in order to social distance during the pandemic. My academic performance, on the other hand, I feel wasn't too massively impacted by the pandemic because I had such easy access to technology and the internet, which I'm incredibly fortunate to have. I also found communication with teachers to be much more difficult online than in person. Especially in math in pre-cal. And I think that's the thing. I think I learned more from YouTube tutorials than I did from my actual teachers, which kind of sucks because that's like their job, right? I think it was also immensely more difficult to motivate myself to join those online meetings early in the morning and try not to procrastinate. I could easily just get on YouTube or play video games whenever I wanted because I was at home. And while in the end, ultimately, I was able to manage online learning, I can definitely see how online learning could have had a much more negative impact on other students in different situations from mine, especially in getting their schoolwork done, or definitely in their mental or emotional well-being, definitely. Some students, especially those who chose to come back to in-person classes, found the pandemic to be much more tolerable.
My name is Rhett Garza, and I go to Marcus High School.
Now a freshman, Rhett was in 7th grade when classes moved online.
Personally, I liked the classes going online because it was like summer came early and everything was just a lot easier. In the beginning of the summer, it was nice because, you know, I liked staying home sometimes, but as the summer went on, not being able to hang out with my friends was, you know, it was kind of boring, kind of made this summer kind of bad.
For Rhett, in-person classes during the pandemic weren't too difficult.
My academic performance was positively affected because the teachers were more lenient with how they graded, and they weren't really strict about turning things in.
But despite the ease from the leniency provided by the pandemic, in-person classes were still quite different nonetheless.
They were different in the ways of how the teachers and staff, how they ran the school. So we couldn't do certain things that we could do before because it was, I guess, a safety hazard. Before, at lunch, we could, have 15 kids at a table, and after we could have 6. So just little things like that really were the big things that were changed. I decided to come to in person because I needed contact with other people. I was at home too much by myself, and it was just kind of annoying. I needed to talk to somebody in face to face rather than online. I don't really think my emotional stability was affected in any way. It was just kind of like a normal day. Just couldn't do the normal things that we did, but personally, I wasn't affected.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on the entire world in 2020 and 2021. At the Louisville Independent School District, students and teachers have had a variety of experiences in the past year. Moving forward, as the spread of the virus begins to slow and restrictions are lifted, the COVID-19 pandemic will forever be a significant experience we will never forget.